check this out. I just got this used 6.5 by 14 chrome over brass Ludwig. I guess they called this the Super Ludwig back in the day or something. Superphonic chrome over brass edition. I don't know what they're calling them now. It's not the aluminum like classic Superphonic. It's heavy. It's heavy brass. I think it's 1.2 millimeters thick, maybe 1.5. I've been wanting one of these for a long time, and I found one for a great price. It is a B stock version, so the serial numbers, there's no serial numbers. There's some kind of blemish somewhere inside this thing. You'd be hard pressed to find it though. I've been wanting one of these for a long time, so I got it today. It literally showed up. I like this with this black dot. I just tuned it to C sharp over F sharp to get my kind of starting point, and that's what it sounds like. I'll tell you why I got this. Not like I need another snare drum. I have an old Slingerland 6.5 by 14 chrome over brass. That was one of the first vintage drums I ever bought. And it's cool, but it just sounds a little old. It has like a dullness to it. It's not super versatile, so it just doesn't get used a lot. But I love that sound, and I have a black nickel over brass, Masters of Maple Black Ugly, that I absolutely love. That lives in the lower tuning, like the gushy kind of super big sounding. And my Superphonic, this size, lives in the medium high, and my Acrolite in this size lives in the high. So I'm thinking I needed something to occupy that medium low register for session work and like classic rock kind of stuff. I'm hoping this becomes that drum. So I'm going to change the heads because I play Evans heads, and I'm going to change the wires. So I'm going to use a UV1 batter head, 300 snare side, and I'm going to try. I used to be really into the 16 strand snares, mainly because I was just tired of the snare buzzing all the time. I'm going to see, and plus that's what the older drums came with. We're going to start with that. If that seems like it's not giving me enough rattle, I'll go up to the 20s. Anyone out there has this drum, let me know how you tune it, how you like it. It's sounding pretty beefy and different than my aluminum, and definitely different than the Acrolite or the Black Ugly. Closer to the Black Ugly, obviously it's brass. The Black Ugly has like a darker, wolfier thump to it. This has got some bark, so let's see what it does. I'm gonna take this head off first. By the way, if you change a lot of drum heads and you don't have one of these Evans drill bits, get one. Absolute lifesaver. Can change a drum head in minutes. I'm sure that's a lovely sound for you, but I don't want to keep muting my mic. I do like the way this black dot sounded. Black dots have a sound. It's unique to them. There's like a pock to the attack. That's just unique to a black dot. No other dotted head I've tried, and from any other brand, does that. It's just a unique thing to the Remo black dot. Hoping someday Evans will come out with a version of that gives that same effect. Like if I was going for Alex Van Halen or something, that would be the sound. But I'm going for a little bit more kind of classic. more balanced kind of sound. So the UV1 sits a little tight. Let's see if I can find, there we go. Oftentimes you just have to spin the head around to find, because normally I would line it up with the badge, which is right there. It does fit, but it's a little snug. I rotated it 30 degrees. Seems to be a better spot. Maybe that's why this is B-stock. It's not perfectly round, but old drums aren't perfectly round either. Yeah, right there. It's going to be weird for anyone with OCD because the logo is not lined up with anything. It's in between the badge and the other lug. Okay. This feels like 2.3 triple flange hoops, standard. And the old stuff came with brass hoops. I don't know, I think they might have been 1.5s. I don't remember the thicknesses of the original brass hoops. Drum Factory Direct does have 2.5 solid brass hoops, which I really like. But I'm not going to put those on this right away. I want to just use what it's got, see what it does. All right. Get these things finger tight. So I'm still going to tune, you know, the first time I tune a drum, I always kind of go higher just to make sure that everything's kind of settling in nice. Like I wouldn't go right for the gushy sound. Unless I had to, unless it was like an emergency, a drum had broken, I'm in the middle of recording, and I need to get right back to that sound, which has never happened. Plus, I always have other options. All right, so finger tight all the way around. I'm just gonna do a half turn on each. I use two drum keys just so it's even and it goes quicker. So that's a half turn. I'll do another half turn all the way around. So keep count. That's one full rotation of each tension rod above finger tight. I think I'll do a quarter turn now. It's starting to feel like it's getting up to where it should be tension wise. I'll do another eighth. No, quarter. Feels like it's starting to give a bit. So where are we at? That's 1.5 rotations of the drum key. All the way around. No, now I'm doing an eighth. Just to see. A good drum, everything is working properly. A lot of tuning can just be done by feel. All right, let's see what this sounds like. All right, I'll do another eighth just to kind of stretch it out a bit before I worry about any fine tuning. This is definitely higher than it's going to be ultimately. I can hear the pitch kind of going up and down, so it means it's pretty well out of balance. But it's evenly tensioned. Now it's time to just fine tune. I'm looking for, that's an F. That's way higher than, now we can bring it down. That was a major third above where I want it to be. There's an E. I think I'm still a little bit indecisive on these UV1s. I mean, it's hard to beat a G1. Just for like a general starting point drum head. But what I'm curious, I put it on this drum in particular. There we go, C sharp. Because this is probably going to end up being one that I'm hitting hard for like rock sessions. And lately I've been tearing through heads. So I'm hoping it'll be a little bit more durable, but not, but I still want that single ply sound. I'm trying to get each lug to read C sharp here, which is 277 hertz, if you'd rather deal with numbers. I like using the pitches because I'm thinking relationships between top and bottom and within the kit. I want everything to be in a nice chord, which you can't do with numbers. Yeah, this was way out of whack. Things are starting to settle in. Kind of hear everything starting to sing nice together. Before it was a lot of wobble and pitch up and down. There we go. Which it takes a few times around for everything to kind of stop affecting each other. 1 hertz off. Really? Yeah, it's still kind of seeding. This is going to be off. Now we're getting there. It's weird. It'll be like super testy. We think like, man, do I have a bad head or something wrong with this drum? And then all of a sudden everything kind of settles in. Just have to keep going. I'm making a lot of adjustments to that lug, which means this one's going to be off. Nope. All right. Sure, it sounds weird out there, but okay. Good singing. All right, let's check it again. I'm gonna play it a little bit. It's gonna keep stretching for a while. Yeah, it's gone down a bit. I do like the new Ludwig throw off. I guess that's what started as the Atlas. It's like close enough to the old style, but way better quality. Okay, what note is it giving me? It's like a sharp F sharp, which is usually, that's kind of where I want it to be, F sharp and G, somewhere in that world. Cool, we'll leave it there. Let's do the bottom. My least favorite part, dealing with snare wires. So wish someone would invent an easy way to just plop these things off. But I know how it goes with product development. Spend all this money to develop it, and then you gotta spend all this money to make the tools. And you gotta have a minimum order quantity of so many just to make it make sense financially. I get it. It's a problem that it's not gonna save the world. Just be a little less frustrating. So this is the original Ludwig wires. Seem like they're okay, a little stretched. Okay, let's get this. This is a capacitor side here. I'm gonna take this off here, mute my mic. Like, I don't know what's worse, dead air or the sound of a drill. That's where if I had someone doing like sound bites, they could play some music or something. All right. Get this head out of here. Where is the, oh shit. Probably should have worn my wireless setup since I'm moving around so much, but I didn't. Okay, the UV1, it's done. The original. All right, there we go. 300. Wonder if this will sit better. We shall see. Yeah, that bottom head is pretty toast. Okay. There's the badge. Yeah, this bottom head seems to be fine. So maybe that batter head UV1 was slightly out of round. It's probably one that's been here for a while. Okay. Because this one is flowing freely. Baseball season starts today. Can't wait. Bought the MLB package so I can watch any game, except for my local team, the Pirates. I have to wait until after the game has started to start a replay because of their all the goofy blackout restrictions. But this is looking like a pretty exciting year for baseball. They've really been upping the experience all around the ballparks, online. The apps are cool. The coverage is cool. I kind of wish they would use the challenge system in the regular season. I thought it was effective in the preseason, just to when you know a pitch was called wrong and it could affect the outcome of the game. At least give the batter. Man, I got lucky putting it in the right spot. I wasn't even thinking about where the gates go. At least give the batter or the pitcher a chance to make it right, so it's not like the umpire can cause a ripple effect of how the game ends up. I'm all for it. I think ultimately the balls and strikes should be just called by a machine and then have the ump be there for all the human stuff, interferences and outs of, plays at the plate and all that kind of stuff. We don't need them to call balls and strikes. The human eye is not that accurate. Just use the lasers. What's up, Jeff? Yeah, I mean, that's the struggle with drums, right? They're imperfect. They don't, I mean, they just produce noises. We can discern fundamentals and overtones, but it's really just a noise. It's not a pitch. So I've found that the better in tune I get each lug with each other, the more those overtones kind of become more focused and clear, and then I can really see what's happening. And then I can tune it out or dampen it if need be. But it's one like if the tuning is just slightly off is when those overtones can be really annoying. That's why I like the TuneBot, because again it can hear fractions of a hertz that no way my ears could hear. I'm all about using the tools that are available to make it easier or better. Now, what I've found is that the TuneBot is not great for bottom snare heads. So yeah, the follow-up. I try to get each lug reading the same frequency. And then if I notice there's something kind of poking through, usually changing one lug, like pulling it out of tune a little bit. Like let's say everything's perfectly in tune. Each lug is reading the exact same frequency on whatever tuning machine you have. And you're hearing some kind of frequency kind of poke out. That could be caused by the drum head, the hoop, the shell, the room. First thing I will do is just mess with one tuning lug, usually the one closest to where I would be hitting a rim shot, because that's the one that's going to get messed up anyway. And then I'll like detune it a little bit and see what it does. A little bit or a lot sometimes. That usually throws it out just enough to kind of disrupt that. You know, it's probably a case of, I'm just guessing, you know, build up of frequencies from inside the shell or something. So whatever you can do to kind of break that up. So usually detuning one lug, eighth of a turn, quarter turn, half turn, or more will kind of pull that out. If it's still bothering me, that's when I grab a load of tape and just start chasing it. Like, where am I hearing it? And I'll put like a little gel or tape or something there. That can be, you can be chasing your tail sometime when you do that, because then you start hearing other overtones, and now you just have tape all over your drum. And sounds pretty cool. There's no wires on it yet, but. All right. Just double check that that is really reading what it needs to be reading. F sharp. Yep, like 370. So a little high, but that'll settle. Definitely try the detuning one lug method. That can add a lot of like body to the sound. You can dry it up. And if you're hitting a lot of rim shots, it's going to do that anyway, so you might as well just get your drum kind of settled at the spot where it's going to end up being anyway. All right, let's try these 16 strand customs. Pure Sound Customs. I remember. I'm old enough to remember when Pure Sound was a company owned by one dude. Oh, I wish I could remember his name. I used to have lunch with him at NAMM and stuff every year. Yuri, maybe that was his name. I think he was from Israel. He created Pure Sound and sold it to D'Addario. I don't know what he's doing now. Hope he made some money from it. Maybe he's still making some money from it. I don't know if he was from Israel or he was a first generation immigrant. He definitely had an Israeli accent. I think it was Yuri. If anyone remembers his name, let me know. He was fun hang. Very smart dude. I mean, you have to be if you're going to build a business making snare wires and actually be successful at it. To a point where a company like D'Addario wants to buy it from you. That is a smart cookie. So these 16s, I started using less wires mainly when I started using the E8010 here as like an additional mic, because the E8010 is underneath the drum. And I was just picking up so much of the snare buzz. So I wanted to try something. I originally went down to those, Black Swamp gave me some of their ballad, or I don't know what they call them, pianissimo wires or something. They're like super skinny strand of cable. That was cool, but I mean, that was going all the way to the other extreme. There was barely any buzz. And they make 12s, but 16 is where I settled, because it was, I mean, it's what was coming on all these old drums I was buying that had a vibe. And you know, you can't discount the importance of the wires. So I figured, well, if I like the way these old drums sound, the dryness, the kind of the amount of shell tone I'm getting out of them, why not try them on a new drum? And they've been cool. It's just certain situations where certain drums, mostly wood drums, where sometimes they sound a little dry, like you're not getting enough kind of reverberation from the wires. I don't like the big 42 strands. Tried them, keep trying them, thinking one day I'm going to love them. And I never do. It's like you can't get a crisp enough sound from those super wide ones. I mean, I have a couple of drums with them on them that came that way, and I just leave it. But honestly, they don't get used as much. That's the part I hate. Just pulling these stupid cords. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Inevitably, you got to redo it because it starts to slip or it's not centered. Drop a freaking drum key. All right. And you feel like you got to just like crank them up so damn tight. Keep it from slipping. These cords will always take a while to seat too. I've tried to find different ways to mitigate that, but it's just inevitable. They're going to loosen up for the first few hours of use. All right. Drum has been dressed, as they say. Don't like having the mic there, but it's where it's got to be for now. Okay, see what we got. All right, that's with the wires as tight as they can go before they choke. sounds pretty awesome to me. That's the sound I was hoping this drum would give me, the beefy, wide open, like I'm thinking like Chris McHugh, like that, just that classic beefy open, really singing kind of like studio sound. Like a bit of an homage to John Bonham, but like beefier, Nashville kind of style. I like all those overtones. It would be kind of track dependent whether a little bit too much, but I bet just one of these, what is this one? The drum dot. Got like containers of random gels. I'm trying to get through all the gels. I use them once and then I throw them away because I don't like them. I'm trying to get rid of all this stuff. I think I want to cut it in half. Do I have scissors in there? Do not have scissors. I'm going to go even down smaller, just a tiny bit of dampening. Cut this thing in half. I'm cutting my hand in half. Okay. So half of a small drum dot all the way out to the edge here. See if that does it. I mean, that's all I need. I mean, it's a tiny little piece. These are like 1/2-inch dots that I cut in half. I don't want to add any more to that. There's some overtone. But that's kind of character. And then also, it's going to get eaten up by the track. That's with it. So wide open. Now, right on, like it's touching the hoop so far out there. Now it's right over the bearing edge. Bring it in to right over the collar, or the bearing edge and the head meet. In a 1/4 inch. 1/2 inch. Like, I like it just at the outside. Here's with both halves, but placed, you know, all the way out at the edge, between two tension rods. I mean, I'll put that on the shell in case I need it. Oh, it goes on the floor. That means it's automatically trash. That's how I'm treating this stuff. So that one goes bye-bye. So just 1/2 a gel. That's all I need. I think it sounds cool. And back to wide open. I mean, if I use this, the reason I got this drum was for that openness, so I'm gonna leave it with nothing on it, but keep the gel on the shell, in case when I get to another room, it's just a little bit too wild and crazy. There you have it, 6.5x14 chrome over brass Ludwig B-stock, seamless 1.2, I think, 1.2 millimeter thick, seamless brass. I can't confirm it, but I've heard it's the same exact shell as a Black Beauty, just with chrome instead of black nickel on it. It's a beautiful drum, and it's going to get some use. It does something that nothing else does, and I can sell that Slingerland now. Anyone wants a Slingerland 6.5x14 chrome over brass from the 70s, it's a great drum. It's going to be darker and kind of like drier than this, but also a great drum. Okay. Time to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.